in order for me to find maximum value in the things that I'm creating and the things that I'm doing, I have to put intention behind everything that I do. I have to really check where I'm coming from with everything that I do.
Right.
You know, I have to. I have to, because there's an ego that lives inside of me that thrives on selfishness. And there's this thing that I've had with me my whole life that tries to convince me that I'm unlovable and that I'd be better off alone and you would be better off without me in your life. And that's simply just not true.
Right.
However, it's there, and it can get really dark inside my skull sometimes. And I can get so wrapped up outside of positive thinking, and I can get trapped in a rut where I'll be in that space and not realize I'm there until I've been in it so long that everybody's life around me is darkened. You know, as we continue on this path of fulfillment, if you will, this path of enlightenment, this path of embetterment, people will start following you, and they will start falling into a place where they start kind of getting dependent upon your success and your ability to make them feel better. Like, you become responsible as a person to do the best you can. And it's not like they're looking at you to be perfect. They're just looking at you to be present. And so when I first got sober, everybody knew that I was a fucking mess and they couldn't count on me for shit.
Right.
You know, but I was loved. You know, people loved me. And as I started making amends through action, right? Like, it wasn't so much me just not using and drinking, and it wasn't just me paying back financial debts, and it wasn't me not stealing anymore. It was me showing up to work on a consistent basis. It was me continuing on self-improvement through, you know, when we talk about self-improvement, I specifically mean emotional self-improvement, right? Like, that's the biggest thing in my family's life. Like, they could give a fuck what I do about a career, but the fact that I'm happy and that I'm reliable, that's huge for my family. You know, that's huge for the people in my life. So as I started making those amends through those types of actions and working on emotional self-improvement, people started like asking me to do stuff, you know, like, can you come help with this one thing? Can you show up to do this one thing? And as I became reliable in those things, you know, the more reliable I became, the more dependent people got on my reliability. And so I have to start being responsible for my recovery, for my actions. You know, I have to recognize that I've created this space through self-improvement, through the healing and amends process, that people are going to look to me for answers, and I better be ready to show up for it. Otherwise, their world becomes dark, right? And so when I get into these dark spaces where the monster is like fucking chewing me up alive, I can go back to all the work that I've done up to this point and remember that the most important thing in my life is to add value to other people. And the way that I do that is by putting intention behind everything that I do. Why am I doing this one thing? Why am I making this amends? Is it to make myself feel better, or is it to make you feel good? Right? Like, and I think doing stuff for other people is the greatest way to create purpose inside your life. You know, like, I love what you said about, you know, your career can change or whatever, because that's true. Like, things are going to change. Like my home's going to change, my life's going to change, my health's going to change, you know, things are going to change, but I have to remain focused on the one thing that I don't think will ever change is the value of helping other people.